Today we're going to be talking about 7 steps or tips that you can use to declutter your home. It is so easy to feel overwhelmed by all of the stuff in our space, and what really we want to come home to at night is a relaxing and refreshing space, or at least I know that's what I want. So today I want to share with you my top 7 tips on how to declutter your space and maintain a very fresh feeling, a very clean and minimal space. Hey guys, my name is Ashlynne. I hope you're having a fantastic day today. On this channel, I make videos 3 times a week about minimalism and intentional living. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, definitely be sure to do so below. Like I said, we're talking about my top 7 tips to declutter your home, and I'm super excited to share this video with you. These tips have really helped me to declutter my space and keep it in a decluttered space for well over a year now. So I'm super excited to share this with you. Let's go ahead and jump right in. So for a lot of us, we live busy lives, and finding time to declutter can be difficult, which is one of the reasons why I don't necessarily think that you need to go through and declutter your entire home in one sitting. But what I would suggest is try it for a week or a month or however long it takes. Just setting aside some time each day, whether it's 5 minutes, whether it's an hour, whether it's 2 hours, just whatever that period of time, set that time aside and really just dedicate it towards going through one area of your life. By setting aside a specific time in your day in order to be able to declutter, kind of working it into your schedule, it makes it so that it can be something that actually happens instead of something that you put off for a while. So that's my first tip, is really just to set aside and dedicate specific time to decluttering a specific area of your life. Okay, my second tip is to get everything out in plain view. And this means taking things out of the nooks and crannies, bringing things from the different rooms. So say you're trying to declutter your closet. Get everything out of the laundry. Even if it's dirty, you can still figure out whether you want to keep it or not. Same thing with like your coat closet, and if you have just random clothes lying around your house, if you're decluttering your closet, bring it all into one space so you don't, go back a couple days after you decluttered and be like, oh wait, I still had a load of laundry that I didn't go through, and end up having to do, the same work twice. So bring everything that you're trying to declutter into one space. Consolidate it so that you can see everything. It will give you a lot more of a holistic picture of what you have, and that's really helpful when decluttering. Now, everyone's different, but one tip that has really helped me is to sort everything out into a yes and a no pile. A lot of times people will suggest having a maybe pile, holding on to it for a couple of months, seeing if you use it, and then deciding at that point whether or not you're going to keep it. But for me, I find that it really works best to just make a decision then and there. Do I love it or do I not? Do I need it or do I not? If you can make that very specific decision kind of in the moment of, will this add value to my life? I feel like that's the most effective way to declutter, so that you don't end up having to declutter the same area twice. I feel like a lot of times the maybes that we hold on to are really just no's. I really do, try to make the decision in the instant. If I am decluttering an area and find an item that I'm really not sure about, what I'll often do is I'll just set it aside until I finish decluttering the rest of the area. So say I'm decluttering my scarves, hats, and jackets. I'll come across a scarf that I'm not sure if I want to keep or if I want to let go of, and I just will put it to one spot and then keep decluttering, and then once I finish, I'll just come back to that scarf and decide, do I really love it? Will I actually use it? And if I think that that's true, then I'll keep it, and if I think that I won't use it, then I'll just declutter it. But I think that having that instantaneous decision really does help to speed up the process of decluttering. And to be honest, I haven't let go of anything, from that method that I regret decluttering. As a matter of fact, nothing that I've ever decluttered have I regretted decluttering it. Everybody is different, and if you need a maybe pile, go for it. But for me, I find it a lot more effective to just have a yes and a no, and it's a lot more simple that way. If you are having difficulty trying to decide whether or not to keep an item, there are definitely a couple of questions that you can ask yourself and rules that you can follow in order to be able to kind of simplify the decision process. So say it's an item of clothing that you haven't worn in a while, but you really like the look of it, and so you're contemplating whether or not to keep it. Try using a 60-60 or a 90-90 day rule. If you haven't used it in the past 90 days and won't use it in the next 90 days, go ahead and declutter it. Another critical question that you can ask yourself is, do I use it? Does it add value to my life? So if it is a lovely little, picture decor item, does it have meaning to you? Does it bring you value? Does it bring you joy when you look at it? Those are all questions that you can be asking yourself to really help you to figure out, is it something that's really, bringing something to your life, or is it something that's there just kind of to fill the space? And if it's something there to fill the space, I really just suggest decluttering it. So yeah, ask yourself critical questions. These are going to be individual to everyone, but by asking them, you really can determine a lot more easily if something is adding real value to your life, or if it's just kind of adding value in your head, which is totally a thing. Some of the things that we think add value really don't, and by asking yourself questions, you definitely can help to determine that. Tip number 5 is one that I definitely struggle with personally, but it's really helpful, and it's to make a decision and stick to it. Don't try vacillating back and forth. Do I keep it? Do I not keep it? Really be firm in your decision. Honestly, your instinct is probably a better judgment of whether or not you should keep it than the endless back and forth discussion that you'll have internally deciding whether or not to keep it. So really just kind of, in decluttering, I think it really is a good thing to just rely on that initial impression of, should I keep it or should I not keep it? The best way to do this is really just to, once you've decluttered something, get it out of your house, donate it, recycle it, put it in the trash as soon as possible, so that you're not going to have this second guessing, because once it's out of the house, there's nothing more you can do about it. So if you're trying to really stick to your decision, getting it out of your house is really the best thing. And let's be honest, that's what we should all be doing anyways, is getting it out of our house as soon as we've decluttered it, so that we're not just having like a little pile of decluttered stuff hanging around in our house. Tip number 6 is to clean out your decluttered space and then put everything back. While you've got everything out, this is a great opportunity to, go ahead and wipe down the cabinets that are storing all of your kitchen stuff. It's a great opportunity to wash any clothes that you need to, or take things to the dry cleaners if necessary. Doing those small things like that, it is a great opportunity, since you've got everything out, just to be able to clean up a little bit, make your space look brighter and fresh, kind of reflecting your newly decluttered space. And then once you've done that, go ahead and put everything back. You'll often find that you have a lot more space in your cabinets, a lot more room in your closet, and I love that feeling of having margin in your home, margin in your life, and really just being able to look and see a visual break, and then have something to highlight more than just trying to fill every single possible corner with something. So yeah, that's kind of the decluttering process. My last tip really has to do with maintaining your decluttered space. And it doesn't need to be super strict, but I do love the idea of, once you've decluttered, once you've simplified your home, once you've decluttered it, you don't want all of that clutter to build up again. And so even though maybe you do want to replace a decor item that you decluttered, or maybe you decluttered 5 decor items and you want to replace it with a really meaningful painting, I think that's a fantastic idea. But yeah, just kind of keep that idea of, if I'm going to bring something new into my life, let me make sure that I'm at least getting rid of one thing, preferably more things. If you're just starting to declutter your life, maybe you want to do a 1 in 5 out rule. But having this idea of, as I'm bringing things in, I'm also willing to let things go, is really fantastic, just in terms of being able to, like I say, maintain your decluttered space and keep your home feeling fresh and amazing all the time, instead of just after you declutter. So yeah, those are really my top 7 tips on how to declutter your space and keep it decluttered. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and yeah, let me know if you guys have any other tips for decluttering. I think that decluttering can be a very fruitful and beneficial process, but it can also be a difficult one. So definitely be sure to leave any suggestions or tips in the comment section below. Also remember today to subscribe if you haven't already. I love you guys all so much, and I'll see you in the next video.